Hello again, this is Tim Barr, Tournament Director for the U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championships that's coming up this September in Johnson City, Tennessee, and we are here at Winged Deer Park. We're going to do a little filming of Jim McGibbon from Prodigy and my wife Donna Barr from Latitude 64. They're going to be playing, we're going to be filming them, and just to give you guys a little insight as to the course and what it's all about. I think you're going to enjoy Winged Deer. It's a lot of fun, beautiful course. It was installed in 1995. And so it's been here a long time. Recent renovations to the course. The city has poured us brand new 6x12 concrete tees, which are huge, and bought new baskets for the course. So we're really thankful for Johnson City Parks and Rec for the investment they've made at Winged Deer Park in preparation for this women's event. So if you happen to run into anybody from Johnson City Parks and Rec while you're in town, be sure and thank them, because they really went above and beyond helping us out here doing work on the course. When you see the course tonight, it's still a little rough. I mean, they have not started their actual preparations for the tournament yet, but they have begun some stuff. You'll see some dead trees on the ground and stuff that's needing to be moved. And of course, I'll probably comment on it and keep that in your focus, because once the tournament time rolls around, this course will look immaculate. It is my personal quest to set these courses up to U.S. Open standards, if you're familiar with ball golf and U.S. Open standards. This is our national championship, and we take it very seriously, so we want these courses to look as good as possible. So if you see some limbs hanging out and stuff like that tonight, just ignore it. When the tournament rolls around, this place will look great. But we really appreciate Josh Baysinger. He has been coming to Kingsport, driving almost an hour from his house to help us film these rounds, and then he takes the footage back home and edits it on his computer and really puts together a great thing. So we really want to thank him, and we ask you to subscribe to his YouTube channel, Baysinger Disc Golf Channel. It helps him out, it helps disc golf out, and he does a great job promoting our sport in Northeast Tennessee, and we wouldn't be the same without him. So hope you guys enjoy this. Take it for what it's worth. Use this information. Make that caddy book on your own. You'll be getting a caddy book at the tournament in your players pack, and I'm also going to post some more in-depth caddy books online for you to look at, and you can download on your phone and have with you when you're playing. But these hand cam video things can really be helpful, because it gives you a better idea of what kind of shot shape you need. Drone footage works great to help you see the hole, but the actual play videos, I think, do a lot to help you see, visualize what you need, help you make the right disc selection. So hope you enjoy it. We've had a ball doing these things, and we really look forward to seeing you in September. Hole 1 is deceptively uphill, 229, but it plays more like 250. You're going to really have to hit it pretty hard to get it all the way up to the basket. But the deuces are there. If you can throw a clean shot, split that late gap, and have that uphill 20-30 footer. Any ground clutter you see on the course will be gone when the tournament rolls around. The Parks and Rec Department are starting today in full force to clean up Winged Deer, so we expect it to be U.S. Open quality by the time the tournament gets here. Oh, snuck through, got past that dead tree, and she's got an uphill 60-footer.
Oh, no.
Is it? Oh, just caught a tree on the right.
That's good.
She should still have a fairly workable uphill turnover approach. Didn't look like she made it way into the woods on the left. To the right there is a pit. It's not a dangerous pit or difficult to get down into or out of, but you obviously don't want to be there.
Ooh.
There's a nice approach. The green is steep, so when you're approaching hole 1, pay attention to the angle that your disc hits the ground. You want to try and get it to land to match the angle of the ground so that rollaways don't occur as much. We'll stay here and film Jen. her drive, or her second shot landed off to the right in what is rough now, but before the tournament will be cleaned out. All of our circles will be cleaned out of all the low scrub. So tournament time, that 30 footer she has now that's well obstructed will be mostly open.
Yeah, there wasn't much in there.
No, we're going to clean all that out. Hole 2 measures 246, elevated tee throwing over a valley in the woods to a basket that sits at the beginning of a downslope. So anything that lands beyond the basket is going to scoot on down the hill. Short of the basket is fairly flat once you get past the dead tree you can see on the ground, which consequently will be gone by tournament time. And the limbs on the trees that you see that are hanging out in the way, they will be gone also. So you'll have very clean lines to look at on hole 2. I chose the hyzer route. You can hyzer around the right side of that tree in the center, or you can throw straight at it on the left side of it. And hyzered as well, got a little farther to an opening up there where she should have a wide open putt at the basket. Donna will be putting from behind a big tree. Oh, what a great line.
Yes, beautiful.
Hole 3 has a split fairway. Players can choose to take the left route or the slightly tighter right-hand hyzer route. The basket sits in the distance. You should be able to see the top of the number sign. A lot of deadwood on this hole right now that the park's been cutting up, so just ignore any ground clutter and any stuff that might need to be weed eated. Still plays as a fairly difficult par 3. I believe it's 258 feet. Hang on. 280 feet. Deuces on this hole require a really straight shot if you're taking the right-hand route, or a long, slow turnover if you choose to take the left-hand route.
There's a tree right there.
Still shaking. Donna chose the right-hand route. Got into the woods a little late. Both ladies should have somewhat open approaches. Jen's will be a little longer, but still basically in that left-hand fairway, the same type of longish turnover shot. Deuces on this hole are tough. You have to really throw a good shot to get a 2 on this hole. shot. Good shot. A lot of dead trees still laying on the ground. Parks and Rec has been working to eliminate all the dead trees on this hole, and they've got them all down and cut up, but they haven't got them hauled off yet. Great spot. That's an excellent save. Nice par. Hole 4 has out of bounds completely surrounding the hole. Carroll Creek Road is the street to the far left. That is out of bounds. You can see the truck coming over the hill there. The Park Road that cuts in to the right behind the basket is out of bounds, and there is a huge pit that basically runs the entire length of the hole on the right side, which will be roped out of bounds because it's dangerous. You don't want to be in there. There's a sinkhole at the bottom of it that you could end up in the lake if you got down there far enough. But so players on this hole have an easy approach out of the trees. They just need to make sure their shots stay in the grass. The basket is in its long position, which, if Josh can zoom in over to the far right next to the street, you might be able to see a little bit of the mulch under the basket on the far right. That's where the pin is. It's just hard to see for those trees that are blocking the view. This hole plays, I can't see the sign, I guess you're going to get to see me again. 280 feet. It's mostly downhill the whole way. The biggest key is obviously avoid the out of bounds that surround the entire fairway. Playing it safe.
Real safe.
She'll have about a 80 to 90 foot approach with nothing in her way. Good shot.
Happy there.
Good shot.
Good shot, Donna.
As you can see, the road behind the basket is pretty close to being pretty close as far as OB is concerned, and the pit to the right is going to be fairly close too. Basically, you're going to have the 30-foot circle to work with in that little peninsula where the basket sits. Anything outside that 30-foot circle, unless you go further back to the right, is going to be very close to out of bounds. Hole 5 is a very nice hole for a righty backhand. This big tree in the front provides a beautiful opening gap under the limb that hangs down. Right-handed shots can throw it flat and then let the hyzer come late. Should put you right close to the basket. This hole measures 277. That's exactly what you want right there.
Nice.
The road to the right is out of bounds. Inbounds. She'll still have a toss opportunity for it too.
Nice luck, DB.
Oh,
Beautiful run.
good putt.
Thank you. I love it.
Hole 6 is one of my favorite holes on the course when it's played to its longest position, which is the position we're playing for the women's tournament. Measuring 280, you have two routes. You can go to the right of the tree or left of the tree. If you want to play it safe, the right side is the safer route. If you want to try to flex a shot and get the distance to get you all the way to the top of the hill, then you can throw, to the left of the tree. Either way, you need to get past that tree and past the rock you can see to have an easy approach and an easy three. The hill does drop off a little behind the basket, so pay attention to your approaches. Nice shot. Another good shot.
DB. Gallery proof.
Ladies making it look easy. Oh man, that almost hit the basket. Great shot.
Good luck. Yeah, baby.
We're going to start at hole 7's basket and work our way backwards because the vantage point from the tee doesn't allow you to see the basket. So Josh is going to zoom backwards and step over to the right so that you can kind of see the basket and then get a feel for the hole. Hole 7 is bordered by cedar trees on both sides, and they are catcher's mitts. If you land in the cedars, that's as far as you're going, and they're liable to be stuck in the top of them. The best shot here is obviously left to right to keep you in the center of the fairway. Another difficult deuce, but it is reachable. This hole measuring 301 feet. It is reachable mostly uphill. The biggest key on this hole is just to stay out of the cedar trees. Keep turning. Oh, got a great kick out of this.
We'll take it.
Visualization of your shot here is very very critical in my opinion. If you can visualize the arc you want your disc to fly, it makes staying in the fairway just a little easier.
Gorgeous.
Good shot. Donna throwing her diamond. Throwing it short of the basket, probably about 70 feet uphill look. Okay, so there was an error on the catcher, which allowed Jen to get to first base. And now she has an easy approach here on hole 7. Good shot. Stay up.
One time.
Ooh, good luck. Good shot. Nice easy through. So after all the tight fairways and wooded holes of holes 1 through 7, we get to hole 8, you finally get to air one out. This hole measures 426. The right side has rough if you turn it over too much. There is OB road on the left. You can't see it from here, but it is there. And then the park road behind the basket up on the hill is also out of bounds. But for the most part, you should be able to just let one rip on this hole and go for your max D. The big cedar at the bottom of the hill will knock down the strongest shots, but as a general rule, I like to aim for that tree because I rarely throw it that far, and it hyzers out in front, and it usually leaves a putt.
So safe. Here you go, DB.
Solid approach,
Nice shot.
hits the bottom of the basket. Good shot.
Yep.
Hole 9 measures 206. It's uphill. The right side is no place to be. The best shot starts out to the left, works its way back to the right. The cedars up there near the basket have been trimmed up to allow shots to pass through. The concrete ditch that you might be able to see on the left is not out of bounds, so if you land in the ditch, you will play it where it lies. We felt it was a little too random to be an out of bounds for this event, so hole 9 is a great opportunity to get a deuce. 209 uphill, plays like 225. Ah,
I got
must
cheese.
have hit a rock or something. Yeah, she hit cheese on the ground. That's a good shot.
Three.
Both of them have birdie putts. Here on hole 9. Oh, just off the top. Hole 10 is one of the tighter fairways at Winged Deer, and for the most part, all the courses will play for the weekend of the event. It measures 264, slightly uphill. As you can see, you just want to find a shot that will split that fairway. Preferably miss the hardwood in the center to the right, which will give you an opportunity for a look at a 2.
Yeah.
Good shot. Oh, but a good kick out. Nice. Good putt. Nice pars, ladies. Hole 11 measures 253 feet. It is uphill the whole way, which makes it play closer to 280. Basically, all you have to do is stay to either side of the cedar, and you'll have a putt. The ball field over to our left is going to be out of bounds for this hole, so if you end up across the fence and inside the ball field, you will be out of bounds. And your next shot will not be easy if you have to throw from the base of that fence. So at all costs, avoid the ball field. It really isn't in play that much. Most people should have no trouble at all keeping their drives in bounds on this hole and hopefully having a shot at a deuce. Shot. Nice shot.
Good shot. Yeah, DB. Good putt. Dang,
Yeah, really. Hole 12 measures 229. Downhill shot, the basket sits on a downslope, so when you get close to the basket you need to pay attention to that. Really tight fairway. Obviously you want to try to hit the center with a little bit of left to right turn, and shots that hit on top of the hill do tend to scoot down closer to the basket, so you don't necessarily have to throw it right to the basket to get it close. You can hit early and get a scoot down. She was testing my scoot theory, but turning just a little bit too much. Ah, so close. Hole 12 is a tester. You'll notice a lot of holes at Winged Deer are under 300 foot, but very few of them are actually simple deuce opportunities. If you're going to get a 2 here on this course, you're going to have to throw a very clean, controlled drive. But there are many opportunities. When you look at the scorecard here at Winged Deer, it seems like well over half the holes are under 300 foot. So if you use these videos and take some good notes, pick the right discs, you'll have opportunities for deuces here. The kick Donna got left her over to the left, and she's behind a bunch of trees, and she's not got really anything. She's going to try a forehand roller. Worked out pretty well. She's got a downhill 20-footer. Notice the downhill slope as we get closer to the basket. The ground clutter and the little bushes that are close to the ground will all be gone. So it'll be a fast green. So when you're approaching this hole and you're making your putts, a decision needs to be made as to whether or not you're willing to take the risk of possibly rolling down into the grass or just playing it safe to get the 3. Great save. Good putt. Nice threes, ladies. Hole 13 is a new hole to Winged Deer. We redesigned the old hole 13 because it was just not a good design. You basically had to throw a 300-foot hyzer 50, 60 foot up in the air over top of a bunch of cedar trees. So we decided to redesign the hole, and this is what we came up with. Hole 13 now measures 270 feet. It is a left to right turnover. The basket sitting just past the ridge that you can see. Down at the base of it, probably another 70 or 80 foot. This hole is tight but fair. Bad shots are going to hit the right side of a tree and probably end up in the woods below on the right. So be smart with your drive here. Try to keep it in the center, even if it means not necessarily getting a shot at the 2. I think a 3 on this hole is going to be a good score. That's a great shot. She actually hit the stump of a tree that will not be there for the tournament. We've cut the trees, but we haven't gotten all the stumps removed yet. Still a good shot right in the middle. That tree unfortunately will stay, but still not a bad shot. This is an intimidating tee shot. Those trees in front are well out of reach of any arm swing, but they provide a visual intimidation factor. Jen's drive hit the locust tree, left her with a blind approach. The trees in front that are marked with orange are slated for removal, so that second half of this fairway will get a little fairer. A little cabbage late, but she still should have probably a 50-foot putt for a 3. Good shot. Oh, good putt.
Good putt, Donna.
Hole 14 is the second hole that we redesigned, basically for the same reason. It just wasn't a viable shot to have to throw over top of 60, 70 foot tall trees. So we cut out a more clean fairway and we moved the basket back. You will probably see the old basket still in the ground up here. Parks and Rec hasn't come out to install the new anchor yet, but by the time the tournament's here, the basket will be where it should be. We have a temporary basket in its place for the moment. You really want to just hit the fairway. Straight and 200 foot will get you a 3 every time. If you try to get greedy and get the deuce, all bets are off. Just missed the fairway. There is a little bit of a hyzer alley to the right. It was kind of the old fairway. Nice shot. That should skip up to a real easy approach. Possibly even a long putt for a 2. Donna's disc hit a tree and kicked to the right, and unfortunately for her, she's not throwing to the basket on the tall pole. You can see she is throwing to the basket behind it and to the right with the orange streamers on it. That basket on the tall pole is no longer a good basket position for this hole, so we're going to pull it out of the ground and move it. Quite the time for a black ace. And just for future reference, when we move the basket back to its new position, it will not be on an elevated pole. Great shot. That's what I mean when I set off the tee. A nice 200-foot drive will get you a 3 almost every time. Oh, nice putt. Pinpoint precision. Nice pars, ladies. All right, let's Hole 15 starts a very difficult stretch of holes here at Winged Deer. As you can see, this is a tight, straight fairway down through the middle of the woods. The clump of stuff you can see on the ground to the bottom left, that will be removed. That's a tree that's fallen recently. As you can see, the basket sits over to the right a little bit after you clear the fairway. This hole plays tough. 443, I believe, is the distance. You really want to keep your shots in the center on this hole, even if it means, you know, backing off a little bit. Fours are a great score. This hole plays as a par 4, and a 4 is a very good score. Threes are very gettable if you keep your drive in the center.
Beautiful.
That's a great shot. Over in the left-hand rough, but where she's landing won't be a very good spot today, but when the tournament rolls around, that area will have been cleaned out and it'll be much more accessible. Little early turn on the shot, kicked her out to a long putt though.
I'll take it. Good run.
Nice shot. Oh. Both ladies giving good bids at birdie threes on this hole. And nothing wrong with the easy 4s. Hole 16 is the signature hole at Winged Deer. When the basket is in a long position, this hole, in my opinion, is one of the best holes in our region. For the men, it plays as a long par 4, 577. For the women, it plays as a par 5. 577 feet is a long way, and it's mostly uphill the whole way. Your border on the left is thick and mean, and you want to try to stay out of it. Your border on the right is a little more manageable, but still, it's a fairly big fairway, so all you really want to do is keep your drive in the center. Threes on this hole are difficult. Only the longest throwing pros will be able to have an opportunity to get a 3 on this hole. I think most of the ladies will be very happy with a 4 or even a 5. This will also be the site of a long drive contest that will be going on through the week. For the A pool, we'll be playing here Friday morning. When you come to hole 16, you will meet Mr. Dan Harbeck, and he will explain the rules to you. And then B pool, when you play here on Saturday morning, we'll also run into Mr. Harbeck here on hole 16, and he once again will explain the rules to you. We have some great prizes, $500 cash prizes for the pro division, and $200 plus in merchandise prizes for the AMs. So when you come to hole 16, you'll have a decision to make. You do not have to enter the distance competition if you don't want to, but if you choose to, then they will keep track of your shot and measure it based on their criteria. But no matter what you do, keeping your drive in the cut grass on this hole is your main objective until you reach the basket. solid shot. Good shot. Two good shots. Keeping them in the cut grass is the key. For the top two pros and the top two AMs, we will have a distance final at Founders Park Saturday evening before the skins game commences. So if you happen to be in the top two in pro or AM, you will be in the finals throwing at Founders Park, and we will have trophies for first place in each division. That should be a lot of fun too. Good shot. As you can see, as you proceed up hole 16, the fairway does get narrower as you go, and the tree line on the right hand side comes into play quite a bit more. So second shots, third shots, need to pay attention, as the rough on the right is thick, and if you get back in there, getting out is tough. The rough on the left is thick too, so all your concentration and focus needs to be on staying in the cut grass, even at the risk of losing a little distance. Very good. 138. Just do 160.
Good line.
Hole 16 playing a little tough on our ladies today. They're both going to get fives.
Par 5.
It is a par 5.
Utilizing all of the par.
But I think they both feel one shot difference was well within their reach, and the 4 was definitely something that they'll be trying to get for the tournament. Hole 17 measures 286 feet. It's downhill the whole way, and it turns from left to right the entirety of the hole. So no matter what kind of shot you throw, it needs to hold that left to right turn as long as possible for you to have a shot at a birdie 2. 286 downhill plays shorter than 286, obviously, and your main focus is to hit the first gap. Some righty sidearmers have been known to throw down the left side gap and with a little bit of flex and bring it back late. I've seen thumbers down the left hand gap, but if you're a backhanded thrower, you're going to want to throw it down the center and just let it give you that nice slow turn to the right.
Yes, ma'am.
That's exactly what you want a shot to look like. That should scoot up for a nice putt. Hey. Well, now how's that for some diversity? I talk about two different routes and they both just throw them down there like it's nothing. That is really good. Beautiful. When the elusive deuce finally shows up at Wing Deer today, they both take advantage of hole 17 with beautiful, beautiful drives. When you think about playing hole 17 now, you can rewind these drives and get a good picture of what they need to look like, no matter which side of the tree or what type of throw you choose to make. Kudos, ladies. Very nice. So the ladies pointed out that there has been a deuce this round. When Jen made the putt for a 2 on hole 2, I had a phone call and had to step away and didn't see her make it. So I was unaware that she had gotten a 2. So, but still, for them both to star frame hole 17, that is really impressive. Those are 2 great drives. So now we're on hole 18, 364 feet. You can see the fairway in front of you. You need to split that fairway and it needs to go to the right. After you reach the grass hillside, the basket sits beside the road, which is out of bounds. This hole can be difficult. It can put a 4 on you very easily. So I think your main objective needs to be to split that fairway, land in the grass hillside. If you can make it farther than that and get it down to the right, then more power to you. That's an even better shot, and your 3 will be pretty simple. She's such a good student. You tell her what to do and she does it. Ah.
That's okay.
Yep. That was a good shot. It just bled to the right just a little too much, but she'll have a turnover approach from there, but she'll be able to see the basket cleanly, and she'll just have to put some left to right turn on her shot and hope that it kind of fades back late, and she'll probably be 100 and so 120 foot from the basket.
Beautiful.
Nice shot. Good putt. That one fooled me. I thought it was low.
Fooled me too.
Great round, ladies.
That was super fun.
We hope you've enjoyed watching Jen and Donna play Wing Deer Park. I think they did a really good job. Like I said before, Wing Deer has got a lot of holes under 300 foot, which makes you think that it would be an easier course than it turns out to be. Wing Deer's got some teeth. A lot of tight drives, a lot of cedar tree fairways where you need to be in the center. And so hopefully, watching this video, you'll be able to come up with a game plan. And like I said before, choose the right disc. I think that's very critical on a lot of these drives. Overstable drivers don't tend to work very well here. You need to be able to throw something, if you're right-handed and throw mostly backhand, something that turns to the right. So hope you enjoyed it. Once again, we want to thank Josh Baysinger from Baysinger's Disc Golf channel for filming for us. And if you've not subscribed to his channel yet on YouTube, please do, because you'll really enjoy what he puts out there. He does disc reviews, course reviews, all kinds of fun stuff. Crazy rounds where they play with little mini discs. They do all kinds of fun stuff, and it's just fun if you're sitting at home and you're wanting something to watch. Go to YouTube and look up Baysinger's Disc Golf channel. We still have the drone footage to film. Marty McFly from Prodigy was doing that today as well, so hopefully this video and his video will be up very soon. And then you can sit down one night with a big bowl of popcorn and watch all 3 courses, drone videos, hand cam play footage, and get as much information as you can while sitting in the comfort of your living room. Also be on the lookout in early September for the class that I'm going to do to kind of help you on all these courses. We'll sit down, we'll watch these videos, we'll start and stop them, we'll Facebook Live it so that you can watch on Facebook, and I'll try my best to help you out to make the right decisions when you come to town so that you can play as good as you possibly can. We're really looking forward to having you. At the time of this filming, we've got 139 players registered, which is amazing, largest women's event in history. So we're really looking forward to it, and we can't wait to meet you all and just have a great time with you here in September. Thanks for watching.